I am really appreciative of the pre-nursing faculty here at Weimar. They've been such a blessing to me on my journey towards nursing. Dr. Feast is amazing, especially with the microbiology class. At first I didn't understand how that would really help me, but I see now that understanding diseases and pathogens will really help me to understand diseases when I get into the nursing class. Also, Dr. Kinjo, so amazing. He's so dedicated to student success, and you can really feel that. It's like a father figure. Especially with A&P class, it's awesome that Weimar has the unique opportunity to do a cadaver dissection in your pre-nursing year. And so that has been so amazing in helping me to understand the human body and how awesome it is that God created little things to work together to make us as a person. And so I'm really grateful for the people that are assisting me on my journey to nursing school.
Something I've been really thankful for this year are my nursing instructors, obviously because we spend a majority of our time with them. Specifically Mrs. Sharonette. She's been a huge blessing to us in the clinical setting. I know at the beginning of the year she was a new clinical instructor, but despite that I remember her just getting in there and being really hands-on. And most of all, I think her example of wanting to reach each patient was an example to me that even though I might have been struggling with what I was, trying to do in the hospital and not knowing exactly what was going on, that she was there to really go for the soul and to make that the priority of her care. Also, Mrs. Chong has been a huge blessing to us, especially her worships, and each one of them was so just focused on trying to figure out how she could portray the gospel through some concept in nursing, whether it be heart failure or whether it be just the example that she shared of different types of pathophysiology and how we can remember those now with the mindset of how they're teaching us of the gospel. And then for Dr. Collins, she was teaching us OB, and she was just a huge blessing to me. Specifically, I remember sitting during a prayer meeting and seeing her with a member of the community, and just to see teachers that are not only teaching but also reaching out to people in the community that are friends and who are doing the work that God wants them to do was a blessing to me, and that's something that I'll really take with me in the future. So we're thankful to all of you for your ministry and for giving of yourselves so much so that we could have more. Thank you.
Some of the biggest blessings in my life, and especially during this nursing adventure, have been my instructors. Mrs. Gorin, I want to thank you so much for all the encouragement, for all the teaching, for all the time that you've taken to talk to me, for being a shoulder to cry on many times as I've been discouraged, but for always pointing me towards God and for the work that He is going to complete in my life. Mrs. Brunken, I want to thank you so much for being an amazing clinical instructor. You have helped us to think critically, to think outside of the box, and to be the best nurses we can possibly be. Thank you for helping us to learn while on our feet, and on the floor, and in stressful situations, but for being patient with us. And Dr. Follett, I want to thank you so much for your sense of humor and for helping us to love psych a little bit, and for making us cookies before every test. You've really just been an amazing encouragement to me, especially as I've been discouraged about tests or about not grasping certain concepts. You've always pointed me back to God's grace and His providence, and helping me to trust Him more. And Mrs. Overton, none of this would be possible without you. You work behind the scenes so diligently and so faithfully, and we are very appreciative of everything that you do to make sure we have good schedules and to make sure that all of the work that needs to be done gets done, and that we can take our tests and have whiteboard markers and all of those little things. We really appreciate it.
You know, it's not often that you get to be a part of a religion department with professors so personally invested in each of their students. So it's my honor just to share a brief word of appreciation with each one of our religion department professors here today. Dr. Fadidas, your addition to this campus, to this department, has been such a blessing. You've brought a new perspective and a powerful testimony that has strengthened the faith of so many. And we thank you for that. To Pastor Dawn, your commitment and dedication to bettering the lives of students individually, as well as the future of this campus, has been such a blessing and an encouragement to see. We thoroughly enjoy your lively and engaging class discussions and lectures, and the way you make studying God's Word practical and relevant. To Deutschen, you have the ability of breathing new life into potentially dry information, such as church history, and drawing out practical, inspiring, and relevant life applications. Your sensitivity to God's voice is evident, and we are so inspired by that. To Erwin, our minister of music, it's always a joy to sing in your choir and to work alongside you in crafting a worship service that is both meaningful and acceptable in God's sight. Thank you for sharing your time and your talents with us. And 2 bonuses, they aren't part of the theology department, but they have helped shape my experience, and that is Mr. Peacock with your heartwarming devotions and Dr. Wilcox with your scriptural, fascinating studies of truth. And as a student body, we just wanted to say thank you and to ask God's blessings on each one of you as the year comes to a close. So, say thank you.
I just want to express my appreciation in 4 points. My first point is thanking Pastor Don McIntosh. It's been such a blessing to be in his classes and for his guidance, even getting me to Weimar, and him being one of my lead professors has been such a blessing. And then my second point is Dr. Z. He was one of the first professors that I got to personally talk to and walk around on the trails and just get to know them. And I've just been blessed by him being, he's a doctor and PhD, but he's so real, so personable, and I've been enjoying that. My third point, we wanted to thank Dr. Fadidas, and just having that connection that I can relate with him. We can talk about many different things about my background and even how to be a young minister today. And my fourth and not the least point, but a good point, is Erwin Anasi and just his mentorship in music ministry and what he has, and my experience and learning from him and dialoguing with him. All these 4 professors in the Religion Theo program have been great men of wisdom, of guidance, of counsel, and I know I've been personally blessed in my first year here, and I'm excited to see what God has in store through learning through their counsel.
Today I want to show my appreciation for Ms. Farmer. Thank you so much for stepping in when needed for the business program. Your leadership and background and knowledge have all been a tremendous asset in the program. We are truly appreciative of all that you do.
Okay. For you, Mr. Malott. Thank you, Mr. Malott. I want to thank you a lot for everything you've done for me. I want to thank you a lot, Mr. Malott, because without you I couldn't have fun in managerial counting.
Thank you, Mr. Malott. I mean, where do I start? From our first encounter in business law so long ago, feels like years, even though it's been only 2 years, so I guess it's kind of like a couple years. But anyways, Mr. Malott, I want to thank you for all the times that you made managerial accounting durable. I know, actually that's the wrong word. Let's do this again. It's durable. Wanted to thank you for all the times you made managerial accounting enjoyable and worthwhile. But I want to thank you most of all for your humor and everything you added to our lives as business students. It wouldn't be the same. Oh, sorry. Sometimes I just break into songs. But yeah, thank you, Mr. Malott, for your illustrations in class that simplify these complex concepts that none of us could really have any attention for or time to pay attention to learning. And also the riddles that I never solved. I want to thank you for those, the mind-boggling riddles that I'm still trying to solve every night before I go to bed, but I probably never will. But yeah, thank you for who you are, and God bless. Hope to see you next year.
We would just like to take a few moments to thank Eric Osachuk, Stefan Heisler, and Miss Carolyn Heisler for their dedicated service here at the college. And I know that we've both been blessed and stressed as a result of each one of you. And
Blessing stress, you said it. Mrs. Heisler, I want to thank you for all the times you've patiently handled my misunderstanding of accounting and how you made it worthwhile in the end. And to Mr. Heisler, who is not the husband of Mrs. Heisler, but the nephew of Mrs. Heisler, I want to thank you for your skill in ping pong and for being just a great ping pong player. I mean, that's very rare for a business professor to be such a good ping pong player.
So,
yeah,
basically what he's trying to say is, cue the song.
Mr. Heisler,
We want to thank you a lot.
for everything you've done
Sing it.
to us business students.
And Eric, so glad you're here. Thank you.
Thank you for helping us use our brains and think critically,
I thought
Mr.
you were
Heisler.
done.
And Eric, I haven't taken statistics from you, but I wish I did.
Thank you!
As a psychology student, I have appreciated Dr. Garcia's dedication and the willingness to take on a program that at first was very much in its embryonic stage, not even infant stage, and it has grown so much and developed into a very hopeful program, and I know it has the potential to be a blessing for multiple other students who want to go into psychology but want to take a biblical route. She has been my mentor. She is inspiring. She's motivating, and she truly sets a high standard, and she does not lower that standard, but she provides assistance and help to reach the standard that she has set. So she has truly pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I appreciate her so much. Erwin Nanasi is truly an inspiring man, and he has pushed me beyond the limits that I thought were possible. As a choir teacher, he constantly motivates me to keep on reaching my goals as a musician and developing the gift and the talents that God has given me, and to minister through music. I see that in him. He is very passionate about music and glorifying God through music. As my music theory teacher, he has shown me that all is possible, and though I will never be a music theorist, I know that I can at least understand the concepts through his help. I appreciate him very much.
Hello, Bailey. How are you doing?
Hello, doing well.
Good. You know, I was really thinking about my appreciation for Dr. Wilcox on this campus and how much of an influence he's had in my life and my worldview. I really hope that he never leaves. And I was also thinking about Dr. Garcia and how much she cares about the students and about getting this new program going with psychology and the interdisciplinary degree. I really appreciate that for a student like myself who is going on to a degree like that. I am very appreciative of her leadership.
Thank you, Mrs. Kinjo, for being such an amazing string ensemble and handbell choir director. It has been such an amazing privilege to work under you as your handbell TA. I'm also thankful for the opportunity to have been a part of your TCI group and being able to do ministry through music. And because of this, it has reminded me of home, and I am really grateful for it. So thank you.
Hi, I just want to express my appreciation for the natural science faculty, and I'm going to start with Dr. Harris. There's so many things we can all say about her, but one thing that stands out to me is the initial interaction I had with her when I was deciding whether I should come to Weimar or not. She went above and beyond to make sure that I had everything that I needed. And that's the way she is, and she has been for our classes too. She takes the time to explain hard concepts to us. She takes the time to pray with us, and I really always appreciated and admired that about her. And Mr. Peacock, he also goes beyond what's expected of a professor. And I remember the fun prizes he would have for us, the ice creams, the mugs, or whatever it was. And it was also his class that gave me the confidence. You know, I had about a 10-year gap of not being in school, and his class gave me the confidence to think, okay, yes, I can do this pre-med business. And Dr. Celestine, he's a really approachable professor and a person. He has these really funny stories for each of his class, and it just made the class really engaging. But he also goes above what is expected of him too, and he sat down, took about an hour and even more just to help me with my medical school interview, and it was really helpful when it actually got to the interview time. And I'm really thankful for these 3 professors and more, because without them I wouldn't have been able to get accepted to Loma Linda and pursue this path of medicine. So I'm really thankful for all of them.
So I just want to say thank you to my natural science faculty. I remember my freshman year, I sent Dr. Harris an email at 1 a.m. in the morning, and she replied instantly, and I almost fell out of my bed. But that just goes to show me how hard she works for us, and I just really want to appreciate your work, especially on accreditation, and how that has given us a better future. And I want to tell you that we not only value your work, but we value you as a person, and your low-key humor. If you don't know that, you should get to know that. And I thank you, Dr. Celestine, who's more like the cool, funny uncle, more than a professor. Thank you for caring for us. Thank you for treating us like one of your kids, and having sleepovers at your house and stuff like that. So thank you, Dr. Celestine. And then I also want to thank you, Mr. Peacock, who sometimes I forget is my professor. Sometimes we don't treat you like our professor, like calling you P-Dog or fencing with you, or raiding your lab and then squirting you with your own squirt gun on your birthday. Sorry for that, but not really. I mean, you're more like a friend to us than a professor, that's what I'm trying to say. So thank you so much.
So I just want to send out a special word of appreciation to the natural science faculty here that we have at Weimar, particularly Dr. Harris, Mr. Peacock, and Dr. Celestine. I've had classes from each one of them, and they've been a blessing to me. Dr. Harris has a special self-sacrificing dedication that I think speaks to all of her students, that she wants us to succeed in our education, and while she's very merciful and gives us that extra encouragement, she also holds us to a really high standard and wants us to gain a good education. Dr. Celestine, it's great that he's been to medical school already, so he kind of can know how to guide us in our journey. For those of the natural science students who are going into medicine, he can encourage us that the things that we're going through right now aren't as bad, aren't as challenging as they would be in medical school, and he can just give us that added encouragement. And he also likes to make the education fun, and that's one thing that I appreciate also about Mr. Peacock, is that while the concepts that we're learning in physics and pre-calculus are very challenging, especially to some of us, he really wants us to know that he's on our side and cares about our individual lives and not just our academic life, and provides a comfortable classroom environment where we can have the best education. So these are some things I'm really thankful for about my teachers here at Weimar, and I'm sure my classmates could say similar as well. So I just praise God for the opportunity to be here and to work with these faculty members.
Hi Dr. Araya, Mrs. Araya, and Mrs. Ramirez. I want to thank you all so much for the work that you've put in with us education majors. Thank you, Dr. Araya, for making everything so smooth and fun. Thank you, Mrs. Araya, for making class a blast, always laughing, cracking jokes, but getting what we need to do done. And especially Mrs. Ramirez for being our mentor and our supervisor, and for showing me that God has really led me to be a teacher. Thank you so much. Bye.
Weimar education students are truly privileged to have instructors that teach the principles of Jesus as the building blocks of coherent Christian education. Dr. Araya, thank you so much for your emphasis on the writings of Mrs. White. I believe it will truly prove a benefit to each one of us. Mrs. Araya, thank you for teaching us how to create a classroom environment where angels would be glad to enter. And Mrs. Ramirez, thank you so much for showing us that the Christian teacher evaluates himself or herself not to feel like a failure, but instead to realize where Jesus wants to lead us in the future.
Bertha, I'm so glad that you're visiting campus today.
Thank
to start off our campus tour, let's head toward Douglas Hall. Douglas Hall, also affectionately known as the college building, is home to the college office. Have you started your application yet?
Yeah, so I put in my name and stuff. I had a lot of questions, so I called, and this super nice lady answered. I think her name was Heidi.
Heidi, yes.
Heidi. She was so nice, like polite. I had so many like dumb questions, but she was really patient with me, and she's just really amazing. Like, I really like her.
I
kind of why I'm here.
That's wonderful. Heidi is such an amazing person. I've been working with her for about 3 years. She's so professional. She's very efficient. She's very encouraging, a very fun person to work with. Whenever I work with her, I feel like I'm hanging out with a good friend. Heidi is our admissions counselor, and a lot of the work that she does behind the scenes, a lot of people don't appreciate. So I'm glad that you enjoyed
really
your interactions with Heidi. Yeah, Heidi is precious. Have you, since you started your application, are you transferring any credits from any other universities or schools?
Yeah, definitely. So I actually went to 7 colleges before this, and I actually don't remember all the names. It's been a long time ago.
Wow,
but,
you're smart.
Yeah. I mean, I really like school. That's why I'm here too. This is a school. So some colleges I've been to is the Culinary School of the Medes and the Persians, and I've also been to Moses Rock Seminary.
Mercy!
And the last one I've been to was UC Colfax. So it was okay.
UC Colfax, that is so awesome.
It's been a great experience. But I want to try something new.
Yeah. Definitely. As part of the application process, we will review your transcripts. Rebecca Wong is in charge of making sure that your transcripts will be processed properly. So I love Rebecca. Just as a side note, Weimar's a small campus. We get to be friends with everyone. Rebecca loves kids, and she has such a cheerful attitude about everything. Her work in the college office is amazing as a part of the staff in the registrar's office. Always efficient, just like Heidi, and she has such brilliant ideas and amazing design capabilities. I mean, that lady is gifted. I really appreciate Rebecca. She's been around as long as I've been around, and I am so thankful for her hard work in the college office.
So it's Rebecca and Heidi in there?
Rebecca and Heidi. Also, we have the registrar. The registrar is in charge of a lot of the aspects that take place in the college admissions process. She's the one who actually makes sure that when you become a student at Weimar, that you will that everything goes on smoothly.
Oh, great! So that's who I need to talk to.
That you'll definitely meet with Ashley. Yes, her name is Ashley. Now that I'm talking about all the other wonderful people, Ashley's talented. She is an amazing event coordinator, coordinates all the graduations with Rebecca, and it's always been, yeah, we do have a train. Yes, it's a small campus, and Ashley's just an amazing person that I think you'll enjoy. I appreciate her hard work.
Great. You guys all sound like amazing people.
You know, the college office staff are like a 3-legged stool. Without one of those legs, the college office falls apart. Heidi, thank you train. Heidi, Ashley, and Rebecca. Yeah, the legs of the three-legged school called Weimar Institute.
That's great. I am so excited about Weimar. I can't wait to come.
I'm so happy that you are considering.
We love you,
Heidi, Ashley, and Rebecca.
Tanya.
Oh, hi, Bailey. How's it going?
Going well.
You know, I was just thinking about just my appreciation towards two wonderful women on this campus.
Me and Erica?
Yes, but no.
Oh, okay.
It's Mrs. Kruger and Mrs. Philpott. Those two women, wow, their dedication towards their job has really just amazed me because both of them go above and beyond their job description. And Mrs. Philpott's just nurturing spirit towards, oh hey Tino. Tino's appreciative too of Mrs. Philpott and Mrs. Kruger. You are. Mrs. Philpott's nurturing spirit towards the girls, even when it's late or really early. And Mrs. Kruger's dedication towards making sure the students succeed in their academics, in their personal lives. And she's doing all of this while she's going to school, which is mind-blowing. So I just want to share my appreciation towards the both of them. I really appreciate just all of the support that they've lent this year, and you guys are amazing.
Oh, Canada. You brought us Mrs. Swinson this year, and she has been a blessing. I remember from the start going to North Carolina with my other favorite, Bailey, and it's just been a blessing to serve alongside Mrs. Swinson, to do recruiting and to just see her passion for this institution, for young people, and just sharing promises as she goes from school to school. Following this, there's another man that is instrumental in the lives of the guys on this campus. His name is Gary. Without Gary, things would be scary. Every morning on Fridays, Gary gives some of the most heartfelt worships, and I really have been blessed since I have come here to this campus to sit and to listen to Gary just bring the messages that are clear. You know, Christ is coming again, and this world is wrapping up. And so thank you, Gary, for your dedication to the guys and to this campus. Following this, we had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Fito, who came this year to take care of the student body as the Big Papa. I've had the privilege of working alongside with Mr. Ramirez this year, and it has been a blessing to get to know him, to talk, to share, to pray. And I just want to thank you, Mr. Ramirez, for your dedication and for your family and all that they do for this campus. You know, apple pies are good. Apple pies are really good. And I just enjoy the Benson family, all the crazy activities, the fun that happens at their house, from making apple pies to doing charades and to all the dedication, the many hours that Dr. Benson and his wife, they put into this campus that we don't see. And Dr. Benson, I just want to especially thank you for being there for me and Mark and the rest of SA this year, for being there as a man to pray with, to counsel with, to plan with. And it's been a blessing and truly a privilege to serve alongside you this year. And last but not least, our very dear president of this campus, Dr. Neil Nedley. I just want to thank you especially for how you have taken me under your wing. You have been there to counsel me. You have allowed me to come by to just observe and watch how you do things, to just ask questions. And it's been a blessing to go on trips with you too, and to just share the message. And I just want to thank you for your humble, consistent leadership and your mentorship too. And to all of the faculty and staff, we just want to thank you for another amazing year at Weimar Institute. It has been a blessing, and we just want to thank you for all your dedication and your many hours. Just know that your work and your labor in the Lord is not in vain. Cheers.